Welcome, my dear guests, to the captivating expanses of my story. Chapter 15. In the holy halls of the Master of Espionage, there was a swinging sea of busy activity. The agents, wrapped in a garment of dedication, devoted themselves with passion to analyzing the latest reports. But a message shining like a sparkling diamond in the dark attracted everyone's attention. A promising new contact had been gained, a jewel of immeasurable value that could be useful to the glorious empire. Immediately, all mechanisms were put in place to test the integrity of this individual. Questionnaires were completed, psychotests were carried out, and covert investigations were undertaken. No precautions were neglected. After countless rigorous tests and laborious analyses, the certainty was finally obtained. The contact seemed to be of a sincere nature. With extreme caution and a spark of optimism, the master of spying, the Senate of the Wise, agreed to the coming. We have encountered a valuable ally whose potential could help us escalate our operations in enemy territory. The Senate welcomed the client with joy as it spread through the dark halls. Finally, after countless days of suffering and despair, a positive development seemed to embrace the empire. The Senate knew too well that the fate of the war was at stake and needed any help to win. Because the battles against the Unis continued to rage. As soon as the triumph had been achieved on a distant star, a new spark of resistance lit up elsewhere. The plagued population longed desperately for peace and harmony, but the cult of the Unis continued to fight with unwavering determination. Recently, they had even sent an evil message to the Empire, humiliating it as inferior. Indignation passed through the halls of the Senate like an electric blow. With a spark of anger in her eyes, Kasach made her words splash through the space like burning meteorites. These unheard-of insults are beyond any acceptance. She dared. It is time for us to strike back with a power that will turn their worlds into dust and ashes. But the divine Empress Savior raised her voice and urged her senators to calm down. Her words permeated the tense atmosphere and momentarily stopped the agitated minds. In a calm and thoughtful voice, she said, "Let us not respond to the provocations you are throwing against us. We are guardians of peace, and we have to preserve it." Their words were reflected in the minds of those present as they gathered and renewed their determination. Amidst the rising storms of conflict, Savia inspired the people around her with her calm and wise manner. She knew that peace could only be preserved through discretion and understanding. With her call for unity and refraining from provocations, she gave the attendees the hope that they would survive this difficult time together. The Senate condemned its wrath and decided not to send a reply. But in the hearts of all, it was clear that the cult of the Unis had an unwavering hatred against the Empire. The war would continue to be furious, cruel, and ruthless. A quick end was not in sight. To win the war, the Empire had to mobilize all its forces. Even science has been used to create new technologies. Finally, Equinox was able to announce a remarkable breakthrough. "The fruits of our laborious debris analysis are finally ripe," declared Rita Griffin with excitement in her voice. "We have succeeded in reconstructing one of the key technologies of Unis, plasma throwers and combat phallus algorithms. We will strengthen our space fleet in unimaginable ways with these high-quality technologies." The senators bowed down with a gesture of approval. A development that came precisely at the right time. Now, with well-founded confidence, one could enter the next war conflict phase. Blessed with her extraordinary intelligence and unwavering determination, Rita contributed significantly to a scientific breakthrough that exploded the boundaries of the imaginable. Their breakthrough social models revealed an unprecedented world of diplomatic possibilities that gave hope and relief even to the Senate, a highly developed society. At a time when the future was balancing on a knife, Rita's contribution proved to be a spark of inspiration that had the potential to change the fate of humanity forever. Their work led to rethinking the political landscape and opened up new paths for peace and cooperation among nations. Rita's social models have become a guide for future generations who aspire to a better world and recognize the power of diplomacy. With these new models, we have more possibilities. This allows us to understand foreign cultures faster, Rita announced with bright eyes. We may be able to see the Unis in a new light, and even find a way out of the storm of war. With a skeptical smile, Kasach shrugged her forehead as she rolled the words back and forth in her mind. Beautiful words, but they are useless in the vastness of the universe. She grumbled with a voice marked by decades of experience and disappointment. These social models will not be allowed to be applied by a fanatical theocracy, which is more of a cult. Focus on the hard edges of the weapons, on their lethal precision, not on the fugitive dreams that slide away like fog between our fingers. A resigned sigh escaped Rita's lips when she heard her companion's words. But deep within her, there was still an unstoppable flame of hope, which she could not easily discourage. She continued her research unstoppably, driven by hope and deep compassion. The glow of humanity in their hearts had not yet faded but continued to shine brightly and glowingly. While Rita was pursuing her visions, Paulina continued her merciless campaign unabated. With iron determination, she headed straight toward the fascinating Zaka system, one of the last remaining bastions of the Uni cult. "We will soon have broken every resistance," she proclaimed with dark determination. But in the depths of their hearts, there were silent doubts, whispering like a shadow over their thoughts. When would this unstoppable spiral of violence finally come to an end? Nevertheless, Paulina fulfilled her duty without fail because she knew no other choice. In silence, she hoped that the day of liberation might soon come to end the suffering that the world held in her claws. After a ruthless battle that sealed the fate of Zaksha, the Senate skillfully used the moment to strengthen its space fleet. With satisfaction, another tradition of the overwhelming power was activated, and thus, the Imperial Armada became an incomparable armed force that knew no competition in the galaxy's vastness. But Savia, the wise visionary, raised her voice and urged prudence. "Absolute power is a two-edged sword that can corrupt us if we do not use it wisely," she warned insistently. "Let us use our strength with wisdom and prudence." But the greed-driven senators were deaf to the warnings of their empress. The Empire armed itself unabatedly for the final blow against the cult of the Unis. Also, the first space fleet captured the next target, the Fayuk system, at a breathtaking speed. Paulina announced a grand victory with an icy efficiency that concealed her longing to end the endless cycle of violence. But it was not yet time to give up, but to continue to stand firm. In the meantime, Rita deepened into her research with feverish devotion. New insights into the fascinating interstellar economy aroused a burning hope that she could succeed in uniting the Unis not through war but through trade. "Imagine, my dear comrades, an alliance of economic splendor," exclaimed Rita with a voice reflected in the depths of the room. "A symbiosis of prosperity that survives without the spill of precious life." However, their words remained silent again, like an echo in the infinite vastness of the universe. Rita escaped a sigh as she resigned and returned to her hard work. She knew she had to find even more convincing evidence to convince the relentless chamber of her vision of peace through trade. Still, her dream seemed unattainable, like a distant star on the horizon of fate. But Rita was a fighter, an unwavering soul that never gave up. The archaeologists at Ek Armstrong were selected, and they led from the galaxy's vastness to a fascinating discovery. In the depths of the mysterious Magnus system, a world of past times was revealed to them, where the traces of a long-forgotten civilization rested, a culture of immeasurable age whose artifacts now finally saw the light of truth. It was as if time was revealing its secrets and catapulting archaeologists into another dimension of understanding. The relics of this perished culture were of a beauty and complexity beyond human imagination. Each finding fascinated the researchers and let them dive deeper into history. It was a unique opportunity to unravel the mystery of this past civilization and look into its once blooming world. With a triumphant jubilation, they proclaimed, "These breakthrough discoveries will undoubtedly expand the foundation of our knowledge." Their eyes glowed with enthusiasm as they gave themselves to the inevitable call of research. Because they knew it was their duty to uncover every secret that was available to them. No stone should be turned around, no question left unanswered. Curious, the Senate agreed with complacency, for they knew that any knowledge strengthened the Empire's power. It was, therefore, essential that this particular knowledge was also brought to light. Without delay, the precious artifacts were transported to Earth to allow scholars to uncover their deep secrets. What hidden mysteries would they like to hide in them? And so another year of galactic conflict approached its inevitable end, filled with epic battles and a spark of hope shining in the galaxy's vastness. The war machinery still tumbled, while the hearts of the warriors were filled with iron determination. But even amid these dark times, there was an unstoppable longing for peace, struggling like a tender flower through the ruins of destruction. She may still be stubborn, but her strength was invincible. Rita continuously researched, her thoughts lost in the infinite vastness of the galaxy. Every step she took brought her closer to the truth deep in the stars. But she was not alone in her quest. The divine Empress Savia accompanied her on this dangerous path. Together, they broke through the barriers of the unknown and uncovered the secrets that determined the galaxy's fate. Paulina, too, felt the change, which was approaching unstoppably. She was still fulfilling her duty, her task, which she had fulfilled for ages. But deep inside, there was hope for a future in which peace and harmony would prevail. She could feel the violence that was suffocating the world around her, but she knew there was a way out. A way to overcome the darkness and bring the light back into people's hearts. The night was still dark, but a new day was already on the horizon, when the power of love and understanding would defeat darkness. Rita, Savia, and Paulina were the forerunners of this new era, which came closer with every breath. They were the heroes whose actions would change the galaxy's history forever. And with persistent patience, they waited for the first gentle lighting of the dawn. Hey, I would be happy if you could give my video a like, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date.